In this one, all I'm going to talk about is this one picture. And this one picture is probably the coolest, I guess, well, one of the best pictures just ever created by the mind of man. And now I know what you're thinking. You're going, what is this? So I need to get into some history, and then after the history, we'll get into what this picture is. So this is a picture called the Practica Musikae. And so this is from a man called Franchinus Gaffurius, and this was made in 1493. So what was happening in 1493? 1493 was the Renaissance, and the Renaissance was this period where they were finding all of the ancient Greek and Roman symbols and teachings, and they were applying them to their understandings of Christianity. And by doing that, they were finding parallels, and they were taking that imagery and incorporating it into Christian art. So this one picture is from Gaffurius. And so Gaffurius was a musician. He was a musical theorist, and he was a contemporary of Leonardo da Vinci, super famous, really good at his work. So now let's get into what this is and why this is a cool thing. So this is from Joseph Campbell, and I'm just going to be retelling essentially what this is. So first, let's look at what's actually in the picture, and then when we see what's in the picture, we can look at the symbolism, and then by dissecting the symbolism, we can get to what this picture is actually trying to communicate to us. And it's actually very interesting because this is an image of a transformation of consciousness. So let's start. So the top part, it says mentis Apolloniae vis has move undique musas. What does that mean? That means something along the lines of the energy of the Apollonian mind sets everywhere the muses in motion. So from this, we see that is Apollo on his throne because it says Apollo. And then next to him, you have the three graces. Okay. Over here on the right, you have the Ptolemaic series of planets. And these are, so this is the solar system as they knew it back then from Ptolemy. And then on the left side, you have the 9 muses. And so each of these is a level that you could say that one ascends to as they're going to the throne of Apollo. Down here, you have Cerberus. So this snake that goes down the middle is Cerberus. And so this one has the head of a dog, the head of a lion, and the head of a wolf. Even though it's hard to see, that's what it is. And so you have here Ignis, air, and then Terra. So you have fire, air, and earth. And then beneath that, you have Thalia, the same one as the one up here. But here, she's sad. And so here, we call her Silent Thalia. Now, let's get into what the symbolic meaning of this picture is. So what is this picture trying to tell us? Well, let's look at that attempt to have an experience. Okay, this is a Buddhist problem. This is a Zen issue. What does it mean to have an experience? Okay, how do you get yourself to Apollo so you can have that divine inspiration of what it is you're trying to accomplish or work on? So this is where this gets very beautiful and cool, in just how this was made and how this was thought up, and then someone thought that up and then symbolized it and then drew it into a picture, and that is insane in and of itself. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to put yourself in harmony with the universe. As you see on the far side, you have the A minor scale. And so, again, Apollo's playing the lyre, so it has something to do with music. So my guess is that he was trying to teach his students how to become inspired to write music, and where does inspiration come from. So let's go back to understanding this. So at the bottom here, you have silent Thalia. And Thalia is sad because she cannot be heard. She's under the ground. Okay? And guarding her is Cerberus. And Cerberus is the Greek defender to the gate of the underworld. What do the three heads represent? Well, so the three heads represent, and we'll go in order. So you have the lion. So the lion represents pride. It represents ego. It represents hanging on to yourself. Okay, your idea of yourself. You have the wolf that represents fear, represents the past, tearing away what you have in the present moment. Then you have the dog, which represents desire, lust. You want something in the future. And that is preventing you from being here. So what is this trying to say? Well, this is trying to say, allow yourself to be consumed by the lion. Allow yourself to be consumed by this dog snake. And upon dying to yourself, your psychological self, you ascend to the throne of Apollo. Okay? So, what does it mean to have an experience? Well, to have an experience, what happens is you have to let go of what you are in order for you to experience the divinity that is the present moment. Okay, that is Apollo on his throne playing to the three graces. Just going to use the example from Joseph Campbell in Mythos. So you fall in love, and then you start naming, classifying, and looking for meaning in the experience. And by naming, classifying, and tearing it apart, you've lost the experience, right? You're thinking to yourself, well, does she love me back? Is she married? Will this lead to kids? Will it lead to whatever? You have dismembered the experience by trying to find meaning in it. Okay? There's the old Zen aphorism, what is the meaning of a flower? What is the meaning of a sunset? What is the meaning of a rock? Okay? None of these things have meanings. You too also. Okay? All things have variable, different meanings to themselves as far as humans go, that to look for meaning in it just doesn't make any sense. Because by looking for the meaning in it, you're not here. You're not experiencing it. You can't hear the music of the heavens trying to talk to you because you're stuck with ego, fear, and desire holding you where you are. Okay? So this is a profound message of consciousness. This is a transformation of consciousness. And he put that here in this picture in symbolic form. That to die to yourself is how you get the experience. Is you just experience it. You go to the throne of Apollo where the three graces are dancing naked. Okay? The muses are clothed and the graces are naked. Why are the graces naked? Well, art is the clothing of a revelation. Quite literally in what this picture is trying to show us. Okay, it's a meta thing where it talks about itself. The art is the clothing that gives you the message of what it's trying to show. And that's what good art does. is it allows you to see past what is being shown to what's behind it. Thalia is the god of comedy, or sorry, the grace or muse of comedy. By being the grace or muse of comedy, the other message here is, of course, you can't take this seriously, right? Because if you start to take it seriously, you defeat what its message is entirely. To let go, to allow yourself to enjoy, to allow yourself to be in the moment and live in the moment. And stop looking for meaning in things, but just allow yourself to be in the experience, consumed by the three-headed lion, the three-headed Cerberus, the dog snake, which will, of course, when you die to yourself, give you the radiance of God.